Guys, welcome back to another episode of Atlas Survival Shelters. I hope you're doing well. Now, guys, one of the biggest worries that we have in this country that could really do us damage from a small adversary like North Korea is one missile placed over Kansas about 200 miles in the air, set off, would cause an EMP. Now, what would that do to the country? Well, it would wipe out the main transformers in the country and would take down the infrastructure of the country because we would have no electricity. Therefore, this is such a fear that President Trump, just a few weeks ago on March 26 of 2019, signed an executive order on coordinating national resilience to electromagnetic pulses, or EMPs, which are temporary electromagnetic signals that can disrupt, degrade, and damage technology and critical infrastructure systems across large areas. So, a matter of fact, this month, at the beginning of April 2019, the Department of Homeland Security listed the EMP Shield in their 188-page resiliency report. So, what does that mean to you and me? Well, it means we need to find a way to protect our house, our car, our RV, our motorcycle, our generator, and our bomb shelter from electromagnetic pulses. Now, normally in the past, because there wasn't technology, the best way to protect any electronic device from electromagnetic pulse was to put it in what's called a Faraday cage. Now, I don't have a Faraday cage in my office, but technically I actually do. This metal can, the way it's sealed up, is technically a Faraday cage, and the contents inside here are protected from the electromagnetic pulse. So, to protect any electronic device, you have to basically put it in aluminum or metal Faraday cage that is completely sealed up like a tin can, and that way the impulse will not go through there. Now, it must be lined with cardboard or cushions, whatever, but anything inside that Faraday cage would be protected. And that was the technology that we've had. But now new technology is being developed. More simple technology and more affordable technology. So a company called EMP Shield, or if you look them up on the internet, it's myempshield.com, has come up with a device that's called the EMP Shield. Now, what this thing does is basically an interceptor. When an EMP or a lightning strike hits a transformer, there's a little thing inside there that basically will discharge and it will end the surge right there. Let's talk about this device here, the EMP Shield. So you guys are going to be very curious. And the thing is, I'm going to try to answer in this video as many questions so I don't have to answer them in the comments below. Okay? Now, I want to go ahead and claim it now. I am not an electronic engineer, and everything I know is things that have been told to me, things I have read, and things I have learned on my own. So this is the EMP Shield. It is tested for HEMP, which is a high altitude electromagnetic pulse, which is what is emitted from a high burst nuclear bomb, which is what it would take to take off the grid. And the reason I mentioned Kansas is because Kansas is the central spot over the United States where the pulse would go out equally across the United States, and it would take out all of the United States and pretty much most of Canada as well. So, you're going to ask me some questions like, what is this tested to? Well, this little device is tested to mil-spec 188125-1, which is 40,000 volts of testing. But this device was actually tested above that. This device was tested to 90,000 volts because that was the maximum capacity of Keystone Compliance Testing Laboratory. So they basically tested this little device as high as the laboratory could go. They can't create any more of an EMP pulse or a lightning strike in that laboratory. It was also tested to the new mil-spec 461G, which is the new edited revamped version of the HEMP testing. So some of you may ask, what's the difference between this and the existing surge protectors that have been on the market for years? And I'm going to answer that because I asked the people the same questions. So the difference is between this and a civilian surge protector is that the civilian surge protectors that you can buy on the line for about $200, $250 are only certified to civilian UL standard 1449. The EMP Shield is certified to mil-spec 188-125.1, which is way stronger, as I told you earlier. So how did they come up with this device? Okay, Well, this company spent 3 years of testing and design. There's 4 patents on new products that are implemented in this device that are patent pending, is what they had to do to create this device. So what did they come up with? They actually have 40 different devices that they made, but they sent me 3 of them. So the first device I'm going to talk about here is the one that is for any type of vehicle with a 12-volt DC battery or a 24-volt DC battery. This has a wiring harness. It will attach to your battery, it will ground to the car, and there's a couple other points of contact where it must be applied, and this will protect your car from the EMP. Now, this will also work on a generator. So, you know, one of the questions you ask is like, well, if we get with an EMP and it takes out the main transformers, what good is that going to do my house because there's no power? Well, you want to protect your house because if you're a true prepper, you're going to have a generator too. So you want to protect the generator and you want to protect the house, because after that EMP, you can hook up the generator and have it run the house and you'll be completely off grid. All right, so the second device, which is going to be probably the most popular, is this one right here. Matter of fact, this is the one that I'm adding to all my Atlas shelters from this point forward. This is going to be down there by my electrical panel. As you can see right here, this is one installed on the house. So this is the one that's going to be most common that I'm going to use. But moving forward, I will install this device on all the larger shelters. Any shelter that we put a panel on, we're going to go ahead and put the EMP shield on there to give you added protection. It still doesn't hurt for you to have a Faraday cage, and I will continue to have a Faraday cage, but we will add this device on every one of the shelters moving forward. Because, guys, as technology comes out, I will add it to the shelter. Right now, there's not many more things I can do to my bunker that I'm already doing. It's already got bulletproof hatches. Can't do any better than that. It's got gas light doors to protect you from biological and chemical and also carbon monoxide and smoke. I can't do any better than that. We're hot dip galvanizing the steel so it won't rust. I can't do any better than that. I'm using a Swiss military air filtration system with a manual crank. I can't do any better than that. I'm using above mil spec for the carbon, which is 60 pounds of carbon in the filter. I can't do much better than that. I mean, compared to what the other people are using, they're using 5.5 pounds of carbon. I'm using 60 pounds of carbon. Guys, if there's anything I can do to the shelters to make them safer, I'm doing them. And this is the latest device that has come out that I can help try to save your life or protect your family. So I hope you're working with me here and you understand what I'm trying to do. So that was the second one I was talking about. Now there's a third one here, okay? And this one is a portable EMP shield. And it's pretty simple, as you can tell. It's got a 110 volt plug. You plug it in, and if the surge comes, it's going to burn out here. Now, what will happen, I mentioned this earlier, this will handle one lightning strike. Okay, that's it. One lightning strike, and the diffuser inside will burn up. It will handle countless EMP pulses, but only one lightning strike. They told me that, and I was surprised on that. Okay, so if you get hit by lightning, you're going to have to replace this device, and the factory will do it for only $50. So keep that in mind. If you get hit with the lightning, $50 is all it takes to replace it. If it's EMPs, apparently it will handle several bursts, okay, and there's going to be no damage done to the device. So as I told you earlier, I'm not an electronic engineer, and I didn't devise this thing, and I wish the scientists or the engineers that did it were here to do this video. They're not, but I am here. But all I can tell you is I'm excited that something like this came out, and they're doing very well. They're selling thousands of them. So if you want one of these EMP shields, go to this below. Send me an email to ron@atlassurvivalshelters.com. Put in your note, voucher for EMP shield. I'm going to give the first 1,000 people who want an EMP shield a $50 voucher. These are $349. They gave me 1,000 vouchers to give out, so that's 1,000 people. Or if you want 3 of these, just get 3 vouchers, but they'll give you $50 off each one. Okay, so it's going to bring your cost to $299, and that will give you pretty much the only protection that's available on the market for an individual to have protection for an EMP. I actually am personally getting a couple motorcycles right now that are EMP protected because they basically run on just a regular carburetor, okay? So anything like the old Briggs and Stratton or any vehicle from like 1976 or before, they're not going to have the electronic fuel injection, so they won't have the microchip, so an EMP won't even affect them. That's why you see in all the movies, everyone's driving around in old vehicles because all the late model cars have been fried from an EMP. Ironically, though, because no one really has set off a nuclear bomb in this country since like 1963, testing of EMPs and the science behind it has fallen behind, like people like North Korea, because they're setting off nuclear bombs against the treaties, and they're able to get the latest technology on EMPs. America has abided by the treaty and has not tested off any nuclear bombs since the early 60s. Therefore, there's no way to really test the EMP shields or any devices except by doing it within an enclosed laboratory like at Keystone Compliance. So guys, our prayers have been answered. The EMP shield is going to be our new best friend, and for all you preppers out there, I suggest all of you get one. And like I said earlier, they're going to become standard on all the larger Atlas survival shelters that have the electronic panel in them. Some of the smaller shelters that we make don't come wired. They're basically a metal shell, and they just don't have a panel in them because they're built into the body of the house, and the electrician at the house will run the wiring down into the shelter, or it will be off-grid, and you'll have a battery system, and you don't need an electrical panel. That's just how these things work. But anyway, so guys, if you're really interested in one of these, and you should be, all of you should be, like I said, go to ron@atlassurvivalshelters.com, send me an email, ask for your voucher for the EMP shield, and I will give you the code. And when you go to myempshield.com and you order your EMP shield, you will put in that number, and they will give you $50 off. Now this one and this one, those two small ones, are $349, and then the larger one, which is a portable one, lists for $379. So whatever those prices are, take off $50 for that, and that's what it will end up costing you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this new technology. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you like and subscribe, and as always, share this video because people need to know about the EMP shield, and let all the preppers know. But guys, as always, I love you. See you on the next video.